So this is the 26-man roster for the Dodgers for the NLDS. And I thought some interesting things to mention are the following things. So looking at the pitchers, you got Yamamoto, you got Shohei Ohtani starting today, you got Blake Snell starting Tuesday, then you've got let's see, Yamamoto starting on Wednesday, and then if you need it, you've got Tyler Glasnow starting on Thursday. So what's cool about this series is you get days off after game one, you get it after game 2, 3 and 4 at home in LA. You get a day off on Friday, and you go back to Philly if it's needed on Saturday. So I see this going 5. I don't see the Dodgers winning in 3. I see the Phillies winning in 3, but I see the Dodgers in 5 just so I don't piss people off because I want them to watch my content. Anyway, but in all seriousness, I think that's a cool thing. I think the fact that you have Shohei, you have Snell, you have Yamamoto, and you have Glasnow. Glasnow you can use today after Shohei Ohtani. You could use him in a reliever role. And then, of course, you've got Blake Snell. Blake Snell in a game 5 you could use, or game 4 you could use as a reliever, or make him come back at game 5. So he'd have a lot of rest, basically a week's worth of rest to do it, a 5 days worth of rest. So I think that's a good thing there. You guys have the creativity of the Dodgers. They could use Shohei as a reliever as well, but who knows with that one? I don't think they're going to do that. But the point is, you have the creativity. You've got 3 righties on the bullpen side. You've got Sheehan, you've got Trinan, you've got Roki Sasaki. I think you leave Blake Trinan in. He's looked a little bit better. Hopefully, he can go against these Phillies. But the other thing that you see is Roki Sasaki. I think Roki Sasaki is your closer. I just did a video on how he's going to be my X factor for a reason, because he's just that clutch and he's reviving himself. He's rewriting his season. So I like Emmett Sheehan there too. He struggled against the Reds where he gave up those 2 runs. He gave up the hit. He gave up the walk. I think Emmett Sheehan should get another chance. And then you have 4 lefties. You got Dreyer, you got Scott, you got Vesia, and you got Kershaw. I don't like that there's only 3 righties, but if the Phillies are going to throw lefties at you, you got to throw lefties at them. And it's got to be matchup based because, for example, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, they've hit home runs off of Alex Vesia, guys like that. And I think Jack Dreyer, I didn't like Jack Dreyer personally. I know he kind of fixed it at the end of that game 1, but I think the pitching side, solid. Kirsch, I mean, that's going to be awesome to see him come out of the bullpen and all of that. And then, of course, looking at the position players, you've got Hae-Sun Kim coming in this game. And I think you use him if you are needing someone who can run the base paths, be speedy, and get through this game. You're going to need Hae-Sun Kim. And then you look at the fact that Tommy Edman's in there. I like Tommy Edman being on the roster. He is a clutch bat. He's great at defense. He takes dives and movements and acrobatic movements that you don't see anyone else take, and I think you do need that. And then, of course, you see Alex Call and Justin Dean in the outfield with Pajas and Teoscar Hernandez. You do see Kike in there, but I didn't like Justin Dean after he dropped that 1 ball. So did Teoscar Hernandez. But Justin Dean was put in there to get those plays, and he didn't. So I guess the Dodgers saw that in the workouts he was doing his thing. They want to give him another chance. Could we possibly see him in the NLCS roster? I don't know. Maybe not. Alex Call's a different story. You put him in after maybe a late, defensive need or whatever. Maybe Kike gets out and you put him in. I'm not really sure on that though, on Alex Call, but I do like his bat. He has hit well against the Phillies. You look at the fact that Max Muncy's not on. That's an interesting thing because you had the oblique injury, you had the knee injury, and now he's battling an injury that they're keeping close to the hip. You don't want to tell your opponents, hey, by the way, our guy has this injury. So better to keep him off the roster, I guess. But I would have put him on there because he's got hits for days. So there you go with that. And then you got Will Smith, Ben Rortvedt, Dalton Rushing catching. you do take 3 catchers. Ben Rortvet's got that bat. He's got that nice pop. He did get that double. Dalton Rushing, he's got that power bat. If you got second and third filled up, you got runners there. You could use him as a bat. And Will Smith, well, actually, that I'll use that for Will Smith. But Dalton Rushing's a good power bat who can get on second. Will Smith is that guy that when you've got a guy on second or a guy on third or both, it's late in the game. Maybe you're up. Let's say it's 3-2. You want to get up a couple runs on the Phillies before they come in the bottom of the ninth inning. I think you get Will Smith in there, has that pop, and there you go. He comes in as a pinch hitter. Maybe not to catch. Maybe you leave that to Rortvet because he's a great game caller and he knows how to call pitches and things like that. But that is your 26-man roster. I'm excited for it. I want to see how this plays out. Let me know in the comments on TikTok and on YouTube what you guys think.